Hey, what is up, Mixer? It's time to mix it up. This week in the Mixer, episode 213. We're going to call it part 1. Just wanted to get some initial reaction to our, I guess it was the last 2 prop events, the randomizers, and our resulting draft position. So, wanted to get my reaction out while it was fresh. No idea. This is mostly going to be off the cuff. So we got it could be 5 minutes, could be 35 minutes. So let's just get into it. Setting it up. I had been, for both of you that have been watching my videos occasionally, I have been following the prop standings pretty well. I mean, as thoroughly as anybody could. We didn't have any updated rankings, and it was kind of an ongoing joke of mine to keep myself entertained that I was leading and that I had won all the props. Then a few weeks ago, I kind of mentioned that we still didn't have it. Apparently we had one more prop that we had no idea what was going to be. So I was, on the verge of taking a victory lap for winning the off-season props, because, I was trying to speak it into existence, and then reality happened. Anthony went back, did some homework, tallied up the points. Turned out I was sitting in second, I guess, out of the 9 competing Mixers individuals. Jeff was in the lead, Anthony was 3rd, I think Danny was 4th, and then there was a huge power gap, and we had Zach and Jake at the bottom, I believe, who didn't participate in many of the props. But anyway, so then it was mentioned we were gonna have these randomizer events. Cool, whatever. I'm not too stoked about the randomizer events, but we're on a crunch time. The commish has got his hands full with a baby, with the man child, and the whole living in a new city, and fighting off all the would-be suitors, being the new hot piece of ass in town. So completely understand it. I don't, it's not ideal, but we play with the hand we're dealt. So randomizer event number 1, it's some 100-yard dash thing, which I still don't really understand how it worked. I mean, watching the video, it looked like it simulated, I guess, 35 runs, or it simulated, I don't know. I don't exactly know what it was simulating, which is part of the problem. But basically, it was whoever got the end zone first, simulated rushing of some sort. And as the simulation goes, we had a few teams pull out to early lead. I think Jess was off the line fast, and then I kind of won the second quarter, was at about midfield, and then it just all went to shit. I ended up finishing DFL. I think Anthony finished 8th or something, who was stuck on the 1-inch line for a while. Don't exactly remember how everybody finished, but we're gonna focus on the real victim here, which is myself. So yeah, that one really hurt. I take away the minimum points possible from that event, and just crushing to my hopes at a favorable draft position. And I don't know exactly what this thing is simulating. If it's a foot race, I would like to think I would be handicapped at the top. You know, maybe I pulled a hamstring. I am suffering from a shoulder issue at the moment. Maybe the simulation was taken into account my hobbled status. Maybe Pro Football Doc had a little bit of input in the formula of that simulation algorithm, and because of my left shoulder injury, I would overcompensate for the balance in my, I guess what it would be my arm pump, and you know, maybe got a little bit of turf toe, or maybe the simulation officials couldn't authenticate my helmet make and model in you know, and they stopped me at the 50-yard line and swapped me with a helmet that I'm not used to running with, and you know, my second half time suffered as a consequence. I don't know. These are all the questions. I would like to lodge a formal inquiry into the event, and I would like it expedited to be heard ASAP, as soon as possible, so that we have the correct results. You know, I just want things to be fair. If I saw this for another competitor, I'd be just as boisterous, wanting to know that everybody was playing on a level playing field. So yeah, if you could do all that, Anthony, that would be just GR number 8. So that recaps the first event, if you can call it the event. I mean, there hasn't been a bigger fraud since Sean's 2018 title run. So the second event, we had Super Smash Brothers tournament. I did like all the threes that were involved in this event. I mean, it moved more than once. You know, I was the third. I thought it was a nice, like, subtle dig that I was the third guy, you know, slotted in Anthony's little video. There were 3 groups of 3. I mean, it does break down conveniently since there was 9 of us, but you know, for my brand, you know, I was super excited. I was like, this is looking great. You know, this is all lining up for, I mean, if ever there was something I was gonna win, it would be this 3-on-3 with, you know, 3 making it to the finals. It's a format, and got assigned Link, which my later analysis would see where maybe I was doomed from the beginning, but initially I was pretty excited. Link is probably my first introduction to gaming, even, really. I mean, I guess I had Super Mario Brothers at the same time, but the first game that I really remember playing a lot was, I guess it's A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. And yeah, he was my dude. I don't Smash very often, and now that the baby's around, even less. But when I do Smash, I do like to have my little buddy helping me out, and I think Link, you know, would have been a decent pick. It would have been between him and Star Fox, if I had to make a selection on my own. And I usually suck at smashing. I suck dick at smashing, and maybe my character selection is part of the issue. But hey, I mean, I'm ride or die with those guys, and you got to go down with who you're used to. So anyway, then you get the group selection. So I end up with, who was it? Danny and Jess. And, as it would turn out, Jess would be, I've had a couple of, like, playoff battles, seeding with Jess in the past. And she's a worthy opponent. And then, of course, Danny, he's always a big, he's always competitive in everything. He's competitive in the mixer every year for the most part. We got the baseball league too. He always gets a good squad in there. So, I mean, any rivalry in the mixer is good. But it felt like a good group. And I thought out of the three, I had a good shot. And I think right off the bat, when the round starts, my dude gets seen by mom, whatever that is. Hashtag is that a thing? Mom peers in from, takes a break from her White Claw binge to check on the kids, I guess. And I have no idea what's going on in Smash Brothers, but from my like 2-minute experience watching this Smash Brother video where I have no idea what was going on, this is the type of breakdown you're gonna get. So mom peers in, she's 3 claws deep. There ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, and I get whatever, like X-ray vision by freaking Cyclops mom, and I'm down a stack or whatever, a stock, right off the bat. I'm not familiar with the nomenclature. So, right off the bat, I'm in a bad spot. My dude Link, he's in a modern game when he's a Link from the past, literally. He's fighting games with all this magic shit with a sword and shield. I mean, come on, my dude. You can't give him like a lightsaber, modernize it a little bit. So I mean, from there it was just an uphill battle, fighting Donkey Kong, who has traps the size of Volkswagen Beetles, and he's got boulders for shoulders, and trains in Jamaica during the off season. My guy had, how are you gonna beat that? And then Jess's character, I have no idea what the hell she was, some sort of Iron Man knockoff. What can you do? I ended up finishing 3rd out of 3, which, I mean, no, I actually finished 2nd out of 3, so I overperformed. Jess lost. Danny took me out. He won. He moved on to the final round, and yeah, I got to play in the participation trophy bracket from there. Hand up, I didn't watch any of the other videos. I know, wait, that's a lie. I did watch the participation bracket final. Zach ended up winning that with Kirby, who's from what I understand in my original N64 Smash Brother games, was just absolutely nerfed. Or not nerfed, he was OP. Sorry. Gotta get my nomenclature right for the nerds. And hashtag not suspicious at all. But no, I understand that they're probably, the characters have been leveled out. I mean, I don't know if in these simulations, if it's really a fair playing field. Like if you were to do a million simulations, if there'd be a clear, distinct winner out of all these. But you know, I don't think there was anything nefarious going on. It's just and just the storylines that we're getting out of it are so much better anyway. So than if it went how everybody expected it would be. I'm glad there was a little bit of chaos, but I am a little PO'd because out of these two events where there was, you know, the minimum possible points was 2, and I ended up with 2. I lost both of them. I've been led astray. I too was, what's the quote now? I'm nothing without my screen captures. I too was hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. That's all. I know there's another part. It was bamboozled, hoodwinked. What's the other one? Conned? No, that's not right. It doesn't matter. Feel free to leave it in the comments. Let's bump up my visibility to my YouTube page by liking and subscribing and commenting, please. But no, it's just you know, it's just heartbreaking. It's you know, I put in all this time. I'd spent a lot of time creating the prop that nobody filled out. Jeff jokingly said Lewis Hamilton would win the Monaco Grand Prix, and then of course he wins the Monaco Grand Prix. It ended up not mattering, at least from my perspective. I didn't finish close enough to Jeff to where I would have had an extra position if he had gotten that wrong. I think if he got that wrong, though, Anthony would have finished second, and you know, Jeff might have finished even behind Danny. So Jeff, last minute, saying that Lewis Hamilton would win, and Lewis Hamilton doing what he does and winning, thanks to favorable engine regulations that were created to benefit Mercedes specifically, much like the opposite of me getting Link as my character in the Smash Brothers simulation. But anyway, so yeah, that's how things shook out. If I can remember this all off the top of my head, draft order is Sean at 1, Jeff at 2, Danny at 3, can't remember who's 4, Zach at 4, me at 5, Mason at 6, which should be fun, being right next to him. Who am I forgetting? Jake at 7, Jess at 8, Matt at 9, Anthony at 10. Pretty sure that's it. Is the final resulting draft order. So I end up right smack dab in the middle of this thing. Had a chance. I could have went 8. I mean, I could have went 5, 6, 7, or 8. So I mean, really, you know, it's either 5 or you kind of want to go at the end. It wouldn't really make sense to go like 7 or 6. I ended up going with 5, and you know, Mid Snake is traditionally the slots that people avoid. So why in the hell would I do that? I got a few reasons, a few spin zones that I wanna go over. I'm stoked for my draft slide. It should be fun. I mean, most of what I do is for laughs anyway, so why not draft from the worst draft slot? You know, I mean, I drafted Matthew Stafford as a joke last year, and you see how well that worked out for me. So why not hinge my whole draft on a joke? But there are some positives that I want to go over. So, first thing, am I spinning this into a positive with the 8th slot? I am less likely to get snaked. In the middle of the draft, there are less picks in between each one of my picks. So I in theory, am less likely to be snaked. I'm less likely to see the guy that I'm targeting, have to wait 18 picks or however many there is between opposite ends of the snake. More likely to get that guy. And my second one kind of ties into the first one. I'm more likely to be able to snake people. I got Mason on one side of me, but Mason, Jess, Matt, Anthony, and then I got the other end of you douchebags on the other side. I got Zach, Danny, Jeff, Sean. So, I'm going to be the one doing the snaking, right in the middle. The third thing that I want to pull from this, and spin it into a positive, is I already have a built-in excuse. If the season doesn't work out for me, I can look back and say, well, I was, second in the prop standings until we had 2 randomizer events, which I finished last from, and dropped, what was it, 5 slots? I went from 2nd to 7th as far as draft slot priority goes. So, I did everything I could do. Link's not pulling his weight. He's not smashing right. I can always point the finger at him. I can point the finger at the officials for saying my helmet wasn't the right, wasn't the right specification. I could always point the finger to that. I can point to the finger to my shoulder injury. I wasn't at 100% in that dash. I was overcompensating. I was more likely to suffer turf toe, thanks to Pro Football Docs being in cahoots with Jeff and creating that algorithm. So yeah, I got a built-in excuse. So I'm cool with that. Another reason why I like this draft slot is there's more flexibility drafting from the middle spot. Not only am I more likely to be able to snake people, less likely to get snaked is in the event that there's a position run. All of a sudden there's a run on tight ends. Matt decides he wants George Kittle in the second round, and then Jess panics and takes Jimmy Graham right after, and Jake, who hasn't had an original thought since the first Obama administration, panics and takes David Njoku. Then he would probably take O.J. Howard, and then on the back end of the snake, Jeff takes Njoku because he's a Cleveland homer now, a lifelong Cleveland Brown fan. I'll be right there in the middle, and I'll be able to take, Jack Doyle or Mark Andrews, or those high value tight end targets, and that you would think would be towards the double digit rounds, but that's why Anthony will get stuck with a terrible tight end like Greg Olsen, who's probably the top five top 5 yardage-wise tight end. So suck it. Yeah, suck it with your Greg Olsen at the end of the snake, Anthony. So yeah, and then there's quarterback runs too. So I'll be in the middle, and I won't get stuck with the third best quarterback in LA, with Jared Goff as my QB1. That would just be really, really embarrassing. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror, having the third best quarterback in LA as my QB1, if I were at the wrong end of a snake. And lastly, probably most importantly, this is my saving grace for drafting from the 5 slot. Is now that I've been shafted, I've been wronged, I've been hoodwinked, I've been led astray by this randomizer event. I'm that team with nothing to lose. Usually each year you hear the talking heads at the 4-letter network, and some of the 3-letter networks, talking about that one team that got into the playoffs kind of unexpectedly, and they got nothing left to lose. There was that one year where the Chargers were 8-8. They made the playoffs. We had the classic Darren Sproles walk-off winning run for that TD. Probably one of the greatest moments in San Diego sports history. Probably the last great moment in San Diego sports history. At least, anytime soon. Rest in peace, Padres 2019 wildcard run. I am that team. I am that little guy with nothing left to lose. Playing with house money, drafting from the 5 slot. I already explained to you in the 4 other points on all the benefits, all the positives. So I'm gonna cash. I'm all in with all that, with all the riches of the 5 slot, and with nothing left to lose. I am that, without fear. Definitely not afraid of this whole holdout situation with Ezekiel Elliott, Melvin Gordon meeting that there's no viable RB1 at the 5 slot. I'm definitely not worried about the history of the injury history of DeAndre Hopkins, and his propensity to just cripple me in various ways, whether on my team or playing against me. Definitely not worried about the prospect of taking a tight end in the first round with Travis Kelce, Kittle, or Zach Ertz, in the strategy that seems foolproof in the hundreds of mock drafts I've done in preseason football, and having it never pay out, or definitely not worried about having to employ that strategy again like I did last year, selecting Gronk in the first round. I'm definitely not worried about maybe taking Mahomes there and there never being a repeat top performer at the quarterback position in fantasy football since Dante Culpepper was quarterbacking, and which I think was the first Bush administration, if you believe it or not. Hashtag red state power, right? But yeah, these are all things I'm not worried about, not one bit. I have 5 reasons right here, rock solid reasons as to why the 5 slot is gonna work out for me. And you know, 5 kind of looks like a 3 that got really drunk. So, you know, which is my plan and draft strategy in a nutshell. So, you know, I'm stoked. This is perfect. I cannot wait. Let's get the draft here. Let's get this season rolling, and let's get it. See you guys.